Yo, 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 yo. It is the Erskin Music Show using the bad camera today, but that's okay because Erskin Music still bringing it to you and still keeping it real. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Look, the camera's so bad you can't even tell I'm on this thing, man. Look at that. Yeah, I was gonna say you can't see me on this thing, but it is me. Look, guys, it's me. It's me. Thank you guys so much for joining the Erskine Music Show today. We are, like I said before, we're going to broadcast live. We're going to bring it to you from on-site locations here. So if you're watching today from Facebook Live, thank you so much for joining us again. You are the most snarky audience that I have out there. So keep that energy. Keep doing what you do. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, the international audience is out there. Whatever time zone you're in and however you guys get a chance to watch it, you guys have been rolling strong. We're about 700, moving up to maybe, I think, almost 800 subscribers at this point. So keep those subs going all around the world, and we'll keep the energy going. For those of you who are on Twitch, enjoy your video games. I have no idea what you guys do, but I am the host of the Erskine Music Show. And if you've never seen this before, well, you'll probably see a better version of me in the coming days and months and weeks as we are not on location, but we get our camera back in our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. But I've got some special guests here, and due to the lateness of the hour, we're just going to get our special guests in. We just run past all this stuff. We're not doing that's weird. We'll do it when they leave, but we're going to run past all that stuff. This is Life Action Part 2. So if you missed Part 1, we had that on today. We had some students who were coming in from Houston Baptist University, as well as from Life Action, who were just giving a testimony about what this incredible ministry does. But now we have actually brought the leadership to bear on this discussion. And so these gentlemen are going to introduce themselves, and they're going to tell you what role they serve in and how long they've been with Life Action, and just give us an idea of what Life Action means to you. We'll start there, and then we'll be brief after that.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you so much, Erskin. What a joy to be with you today. So my name is Shane Black, and I have the wonderful privilege of serving as a revivalist with Life Action Ministries, which basically means, guys, I'm a traveling preacher, right? And I get the joy of traveling 9 months out of the year in a big 54, 55-foot RV with all of my family. And we travel from church to church and university to university, calling people to a life of revival, inspiring people to say their next yes. We've been doing this for, 8 years now. We've been on the road, and I get the wonderful privilege of traveling with a very dear friend of mine here. I'll let him introduce himself.
Yeah, my name is Garrett Lee, and I've been with the Life Action Silver team for 3 years, almost 2 years, 2.5. Yeah, I know. We started in 2019, so it's been a bumpy ride since then. But I travel as a team director, which involves some logistics, pastoral care. We travel with a team of 20 some odd young adults. And so part of my role is just pouring into them and discipleship, mentoring, and also family revivalist. We believe that God's work in the church also means God's work in families. And so I provide, as part of the speaking team, teaching on marriage, family, relationships, communication and conflict, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So give us an idea of what Life Action does for those who've never heard of it.
An idea of what Life Action does. So we're a revival ministry. And as I said just a moment ago, our whole desire is to see you as a believer in Christ say yes to God. And we dream of millions of God-astonished lives that are actually living in action with Jesus, so that we can really see just injustice and lostness and division shattered all over America. So can you imagine what would happen if all of God's people began to really seek after the Lord, to say yes to him and actually live on mission for him? So that's what we do. We go around from church to church, and as I said, university to university, and we're actually calling people to say yes to him. Now, for that moment, you saw Erskin's arm cover my face, which wasn't cool, but there we go. So that's what we do, man.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. All right. That looks good. Let me come back in it. There we go.
Get you in the frame, man.
Yes. Yeah. So that's our life, man. That's what we do.
So again, these guys, they're a ministry that is, I think they're the best kept secret in America. I just don't want them to be secret anymore. So, well, I'm bringing them out into the open. I'm exposing them. This is one of those, I'm going to say life action exposed. Here they are. It's the real people, the real prayer warriors, the real ones who are out there leading revivals and seeing God's. How many people have been saved this week? What have you guys seen throughout this week?
Yeah, so this week has been incredible. So typically our ministry is not really evangelistic in nature. Revival, as you know, means to do life again. To do again. Vibe means life, and so, but when God begins to move, we're not in control of the results, right? So this week we've seen about 75 professions of faith. 75. Yeah. So we were at about 55 yesterday. Tonight we had about 18 to 19. And so you do the math. I had to get my phone out and add tonight. I'll be honest. And so my phone said, "That's right. That's right. That's right. The Lord knows." And so we're just trusting Him for a great harvest. And here's a beautiful thing: it doesn't stop with the salvation. Hopefully, these people are going to grow in their relationship with the Lord, and we're going to see more and more and more. And maybe, just maybe, we'll see something happen like what happened in Acts, where the church was multiplied because the power of God's word went out and people were transformed. And that's what we're hoping for as a ministry.
Yes. What, from your perspective, what have you seen this week?
Well, just kind of bouncing off of that, what you mentioned, that hopefully it doesn't stop there. One thing this is my first time at Houston Baptist University. So one thing I've been really impressed with is their spiritual life staff. They have a whole team of people that are just engaged, and they're working with a student body. They don't require a profession of faith or a statement of faith or anything to become a student. So they know they have a student body that is, I don't know, about 50% non-professing. 60%. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of people that just don't profess faith in Christ, which is a great opportunity. And they're working hard to engage them and connect them and share the gospel with them. But also at times like this, decision points, engaging them. I know there's going to be follow up and pursuing them and helping them grow. So that's really encouraging to me to be in an environment like that.
Absolutely. So we're in the auditorium where we've been having our worship services and where we've been having these sessions where we're challenging the students, challenging ourselves, doing this spiritual inventory and makeup of our own lives. And it's just where testimonies are coming across from everywhere, because there have been people whose lives have literally been changed. They've started praying and then God has answered those prayers immediately. And it's like Book of Acts type stuff that we've been able to see this week. But one of the tools and resources that they use is they have this spiritual inventory. And I think maybe you guys have a copy of what that looks like. And so, you'll have to go to Life Action or bring them to a church. If you're out there and you're a church leader, bring them to your church. And this is the kind of content that you're going to get. You can't get all of it here. You see, you're going to try to get on the show and they'll be like, "Oh, I just got all that Life Action stuff." No, this is only a teaser. But this should like whet your appetite for the quality of teaching that you're going to get when you bring them to your church. All right, hint, hint. When you bring them to your church, so step up, you'll get this kind of teaching. So share a little bit.
I was going to say, if you want to see this in action, if you go to lifeaction.org, you can find our. Oh, it's on there. Great. There's a schedule of events. And if you want to see what we're doing in churches, just look for an event in your area and come by.
Yeah. So when we're doing a conference in a church, we're going to focus on some core doctrine. Number one, we're going to focus on who God is. That's where we have to start.
Ding. I usually have sound effects.
That was good.
Ding.
I like it.
All right. So we want to focus on who God is. That's where we have to start. He's I guess he's looking for sound effects here, but and then if God is who He says He is, and by the way, He is. So if God is who He says He is, it's going to require us to respond. And one of the key responses, one of the first responses is before this holy God is to get honest with Him. It's basically saying, "Lord, I agree with you. I agree with who I am in light of who you are." And so one of the things that we do as a ministry is we use what we call a complete spiritual. Now, There it goes. There's the sound effect. So one of the things. So one of the things one of the things I tell people is recently, I can't tell you how recently it was, but recently I turned 50. Now, if there's any of you that are watching and you're my age, you realize the whole environment in a doctor's office. No, I look like 25, but that's right. That's right. Um, um, that I feel the prime of life. Well, no. In my mind, I'm the prime of life. My body, not so much.
Men you put in the beard.
That's what it is. Yeah, yeah. Hey, I'm not too ashamed to do whatever I need to. I actually had a team member. I mean, not team member. I had a student here at HBU tell me today that I needed to use more shoe polish on my head. I'm not gonna tell you who he is, but he's sitting right over here. So anyway, so as I've gotten older, my doctor's visits have become much more intrusive, right? They want to do a complete physical on me because they want to check everything out and make sure I'm healthy. But a lot of times we're not willing to do a complete spiritual. We're not willing to allow God to check all areas of our life. And so one of the tools that we use that was written by someone in our ministry many, many years ago is this thing called a complete spiritual. And it begins with questions with the intent of allowing us to reflect on our personal relationship with Jesus. And so we walk through some salvation questions, and you have to answer during those salvation questions, yes or no. And for many people that they realize for the first time, though they've been going to church for 45 years, they've been serving as a deacon or a Sunday school teacher, they don't have a personal relationship with Jesus. And so we start there. And then from there, we talk about what does it look like to actually have an true intimacy with God. And we go through some questions. There you go. Okay. True intimacy with the Lord. And we go through some questions that make you ask yourself, okay, is my life characterized by genuine, real intimacy? And then from there, we talk about what are some things in my life that show a hindrance to revival? I'm not sure what all those mean that he's doing there, but I'm going to go with them because
categories.
okay. And so we talk about some questions that that reveal to us things in our life that are actually hindering God moving and causing revival to take place in our life. And then we talk about personal holiness. There we go. What does it look like? That is epic. What does it look like to have a life of personal holiness? What are the characteristics of that kind of lifestyle? And then from there, we begin to ask ourselves, what do our priorities look like? There we go. Or do our priorities line up with this God that we claim to serve? And then we talk about what does it look like to be a believer that actually values others? There we go. And so you take this complete spiritual and it's an inventory of your life, and it requires you to get real and honest and raw before the Lord first, and then before yourself. And listen, it's not a test that we really pass. I've taken it several times, and it's not something that I pass, but it's something that makes me go, Lord, my desire is for you to continue to bring me to the end of myself. But because when I come to the end of myself, that's when I finally find you. So that's kind of what we do, and that's just a snippet. Our desire is to take people. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm starting to preach here.
Yeah.
Our desire is to take you on a journey, right? And so come and visit us at a church near you, and we'll be happy to take you on that journey. And here's what I believe. You'll be forever changed, not because of what we do, but because of the God that we serve.
Amen.
Garrett?
Anything about the complete spiritual?
No, I was just going to add, when our teams come into the church, we come with 20 some odd young adults, and our heart is to create space for the entire church, including the staff, to just pause and seek God's face together. So that means a number of our team members are the band, and they're going to lead worship. We have a tech team that takes care of media and sound. and live streaming. We have children's ministers that run kids clubs, kind of like VBS level kind of stuff, and really creating a space where as few people as possible are required to volunteer to help run this thing. We're going to take care of all that, and the staff and the church all together can spend some time just on their faces, listening for God's voice. When I was in church planning, I remember going to conferences, and I would go and hear these cool things and these great speakers and come back like, oh, this is great. But then I got back and realized nobody else in my church had experienced that. And so that excitement, that fire, or those new ideas, I had to take time to really try to work into the church culture. Whereas an event like this, everybody's involved. We're all on the same journey together, and I think that's really valuable.
Well, we got one more day left, so be praying for us. By the time this airs, we're going to be about an hour away from having our last moments together with the students here, and it's just been a great week. Pray that the Lord continues to say, people, you guys got to get some sleep, man. You guys have been pushing it this week, and so thank you so much for coming on the show. Yeah, wave to the people out there in the interweb. Yeah. Yes. Thank you guys for spending a little extra time loving the people. See, if that doesn't make you feel loved, I don't know what does. These people have just poured their hearts out before the Lord and just serving any way they possibly can. Look at me all up in the screen now. But this is the Erskin Music Show, so I guess you guys probably want some music. How about that? Let me give you some of the credentials up there. If you've never seen this before, we are with Life Action, and we are talking about going deeper with the Lord. But let's see if we can do this. We have a song called Only Love that people have enjoyed. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play Black and White, because I played that tonight for our gathering, and it was a lot of good reaction, good response to that. So Black and White played here in this auditorium tonight, and it's coming to you live now.
Segregated time in our country. It's Sunday morning, 11 o'clock. Black churches, white churches right next door. They're on the same block, both with hands raised high to Jesus. Still a million miles between us. Black people, white people, remember the God who made you and me equal. And not some people, but all people, remember the God who made you and me equal. We all want to walk with Jesus. We all want to be about His will. How do we break down the unseen walls where bridges need to be built? A song may not change your mind, but Jesus won't let me keep it inside. Black people, white people, remember the God who made you and me equal. And not some people, but all people, remember the God who made you and me equal. Maybe it all begins by not focusing on ourselves, fixing equal. Remember the God who made you and me equal. And not some people, but all people. Remember the God. Remember the God who made you and me equal. You and me are equal. You and me are
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was a song called Black and White. What more could you want? Have you not been entertained up in this thing? I brought you the live auditorium. I brought you Black and White. It's almost like if you could come through the screen right now, you would be in the midst of a massive revival. But you can pray for this revival. And here's what I want you to also pray for. Look at this. Well, that's a sticker of a husky. It's a tumbler. But we are at Houston Baptist University, and they have been such gracious hosts. In fact, they gave us tumblers. Look at that. Amazing. Say, get on here, drop a good note for Houston Baptist University. I'll tell them there's much love coming from the audience. You know, tomorrow when this actually airs, I have figured out how to be two places at once. And so I will simultaneously be watching this as well as doing my spiritual and practical activities here at the university. And so because those kind of things overlap, I have finally figured out how to be two places at once. And so that's been the fun thing about it. But you guys remember Houston Baptist University? I'm not putting up their credentials. Man, I don't even know where the camera's at. Somebody's singing opera in the other room over there. That's awesome. So, yeah. So, you know, we've been doing all the things this week. We've been doing the going deeper with God. It's been a encouragement for me to see Life Action in action and to see how the Lord is using their ministry and encouraging and using them and just challenging people. You know, it's been a challenge to me to see the different ways that God is moving and to not settle for. I think this week has been good for me. It's just not settle for just low expectations. You know, we came here not knowing if there'd be anybody respond, or if anybody would like this, but we didn't care. We just came doing what it is that we know God has called us to do, doing it the way that God wants us to do it. And look, I think they're in the 70s now of people who have trusted Christ. And it's just, it has become almost expected that every time we gather together and we give an invitation, and maybe that's not even the right way to say that, but just give people an opportunity to respond to what God is doing. They are responding and they are trusting Christ, and there's new birth that is taking place here. And so I really hope that baptism is something that happens very much here, that Salim would be able to get the students connected. I'm going to have some meetings with the leadership here, not just at the university, but the leadership of Life Action tomorrow. And just pray for me in those, that I would just be able to condense all of these thoughts that I have for the spiritual leaders here at Houston Baptist, like getting them connected to local churches where they can be baptized and carry out the spirit of fellowship and spiritual growth there. And then also for Life Action leadership, you got a chance to meet some of them there, but they are, I mean, literally going out and, you know, breaking new ground, new opportunities for people, students. Oh, excuse me. I yawned at my own show. That's because it's dark 30 here. And long days, but days that are so worth it. But yeah, just having some opportunities to talk with leadership. What is it? You guys are making some comments in there? Hey, keep making some comments. That helps the show metrics go up. If more people comment on the show, then it tells more people there's a discussion that's going on over here, and we want to send people to this. Unfortunately, Facebook and you people who are trying to create controversies, this is not a controversy-laden show. We deal with controversial topics, but we don't do it in a controversial way. At the end of the day, everybody that watches this show, we know we got to work on us. We are really messed up. That's why Jesus had to do what he did to save us. And so we are so busy working on ourselves and working on the task that the Lord has put in front of us that we scant have time to talk about other people and what it is that they need to do. So, but what we are going to say we need to do is we need to continue to pray for Houston Baptist University, continue to pray for Life Action, and continue to listen to some Erskine music. What we're going to do here, since it is the Erskine Music Show, is I'm going to give you some more music. Give the people what they want. Life matters. And it's a song that I think, excuse me, on the heels of what you just heard in terms of Black and White, I mean, you got to play this song too. And so this song.
In a world that's so divided, lead us to love. Let us know that every life matters. Look around and what do you see? People these days disagree. We need a faith to believe. There's something more we can be. We wanna be seen and heard. Lord, give us hands that will serve. Your life matters and my life matters. We can come together if we love one another. Your life matters and my life matters. We can come together if we love one another. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. No doubt there's problems to solve when people can't get along. So many issues to blame, but don't stop fighting for change. Your life matters and my life matters. We can come together if we love one another. Your life matters and my life matters. We can come together if we love one another. Nothing is stronger than love. The greatest treasure of all. Oh yeah. Let's get started today. Let's join together and say, your life matters and my life matters. We can come together if we love one another. Your life matters and my life matters. We can come together if we love one another. Yeah, 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 yeah. All we need. Your life matters and my life matters. We can come together if we love one another. Your life matters and my life matters. We can come together if we love one another. Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right. That was the song Life Matters. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this episode of the Erskine Music Show. Before we sign off here, we want to make sure that you guys are fully aware of all the different things that you can be telling people. We only ask for 1 hour a day, and I've been giving you guys the light show today the lighter show, the shorter show, because we're on location. There's things that we got to do. But here's my little overlay for this. You should subscribe to this show if you have not already on YouTube, Facebook, and also Twitch. Make sure you enable those notifications. That always helps. All right, so it's the Erskin Music Show. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, on location here, Houston Baptist University, Life Action teams, all of it's going down. If we could pan around and see this large auditorium that we're in, this whole thing will be filled to over capacity and has been every day. People are hearing the gospel message, and it's changing lives. And so this is why we do what we do. And to see it all come together, all those miles of travel, all those songs that we've written, all those recordings, all those different things come together so that people come to know Christ. If only one person came to know Christ, this would all be worth it. But the Lord is pleased to bring many more. And so thank you so much for your support of the Erskin Music Show. For those of you who are watching on Facebook, Twitch, and also YouTube, man, you guys are great. You guys make this show what it is. And so your comments, there's some regulars that join this thing. I enjoy your regular comments. I'm sorry the camera is not working today, the regular camera, but we will have that camera back online next week. I think I figured out what the issue is with that. So anyway, Erskin Music Show stepping up to another level. God bless.